So this is what they gave us. This here is what they gave us. It was, so here we have to recognize that x and y are both functions of t, right?
Yeah.
A function, and this is another function. They're not just regular variables anymore. So when you take the derivative of x or y, you're gonna have to add an x prime or a y prime. Right? So let's look at x cosine y. So two things are being multiplied. What does that mean, Lauren?
Product rule,
Exactly, product rule.
x f and then cosine y g.
Yes, basically we're gonna have to take the derivative as in portions, right? Like the product rule. So what would the first one be? Let's take the derivative of x, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the derivative of x?
0.
Oh, it's just 1, right?
Oh, it's 1.
But again, yeah, because usually when you take the derivative of x, so like let's say I have x and I'm taking the derivative of dy dx. Basically this is just 1.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, but this is not what's happening right now, right? This is x in terms of t. This is basically x. Oh, actually, it's dx over dt, right? But again, I can't do this because this doesn't make any sense. So I multiply it by dx over dx so that these guys give me 1, right? And I'm left with these guys. So I'm left with 1 times dx over dt. Do you see how I got that?
Yeah, so you put x instead of y?
Yes, because now the x is also a dependent function, a dependent variable. Basically, I have dx over dt, right? And then so I multiply this by dx over dx so that these guys can cancel out, right? And then I am left with dx over dt. Do you see what I did there?
Yeah.
Exactly. So now this dx dt, I'm just gonna have to write it right here. Times 1, right? Because when you cross thing on the top and the bottom, you end up with 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know where this came from. So yeah, okay. So this part is done, but then we still have to multiply it by cosine y, right? Because this part stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, okay, plus now x stays the same, right? And we take the derivative of cosine y. What is the derivative of cosine y?
Negative sign.
Perfect, y, right? But again, this is basically the derivative of sine y, right? Over dt, correct? So I need the bottom to be y for anything to happen. So what I do is I say, okay, this is multiplied by dy over dy, right? Oh, actually, not even sine, it's cosine. I am so sorry. I didn't even look at the problem. It's we started with cosine, right? Yeah. Okay, do you see what I'm doing here, Lauren?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, okay, so now the pink ones, let's put the pink over the pink. So it's d cosine y over dy times dy over dt. Now, this is defined, right? What is d cosine y over dy? This happens to be negative sine y, right? But I don't just stop there. I have to multiply this by dy, the blue part over dt, correct? Because of this portion right here. Do you see where I got it from?
So d cosine y over dy.
Yeah, no, it was d cosine y over dt here in the beginning. but then I multiplied it by dy over dy, and then I put the pink d cosine y over the pink dy, because both of them will give me negative sine y, but then I end up with this extra dy and the dt. So I need to leave it there. I can't just get rid of it.
All right, I see it.
So now I just multiply it here. Basically, this is the negative sine y portion. We took care of that. We just need to multiply it by dy over dt. Right, Lauren?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, this is the majority of, equals, what is the derivative of any constant?
I'm sorry, what? The derivative of any
a constant?
Oh,
Yeah,
zero.
exactly, right? So this is 0. Okay, so let's rewrite this little puppy. So basically now we have dx over, actually, let me write it like, yeah, let's write it down here. So now we know that dx over dt times cosine y minus x sine y times dy over dt is equal to 0. So let's take this part to the other side because we're trying to solve for dy dt. This is what we need. It's right here. So we end up with dx over dt cosine of y is equal to x sine y dy dt. Okay?
Yeah, I got that.
So now I just divide by x sine y.
What happened to the 5?
We took the derivative of it. Remember, you take the derivative of both sides?
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a 0. Okay.
Yeah, so now the x sine y and the x sine y cancel out. And now I know that my dy over dt is dx over dt cosine of y over x sine of y. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And this is it, Chica.
Thank you.
You got it. Let me just pause this real quick.